Hi, it's John from bookendswriting.ca. I want to talk just for a minute today about one thing that we've noticed and that I've noticed working with writers over the years. And that's writers who come to me with questions about self-publishing and self-publishing options that are out there. So one question that I get a fair bit from people, and this is just people who are exploring the idea of self-publishing. Is self-publishing a good idea for me? Is it something that I can do? They'll ask basically, what is the reasonable amount of money that they should be paying for self-publishing? And very often, after I ask them a couple of questions, it turns out that they probably went onto Google or went onto Facebook and typed in a search for self-publishing and found links to a number of fairly big companies. And there's a bunch of big companies out there who are doing self-publishing for authors and charging authors, self-publishing authors, a lot of money. So sometimes you'll see offers that'll start around 1,500 bucks, maybe go up to $10,000 or more, essentially just to put a self-published book online or to get a few books mailed to your home or something like that. And this strikes people who are new to self-publishing as an awful lot of money, and it is. So what I want to just talk about today for a minute is kind of a buyer's beware, or a self-publishing author beware, a word to the wise about what you should be looking for and what you should expect from some of the self-publishing outfits that you're going to encounter on your Google search, or the first names that are going to come up when you go looking for this sort of stuff. So let me just give you an example again. So I got an email from a friend of a friend who was referred to me to ask about how much this really should cost. And all that this person wanted was to put together a very short book that they had prepared and wanted printed in order to give copies to their families and friends. They weren't particularly interested in fancy cover design or in having the interior of the book spotlessly copy edited or proofread. They weren't necessarily all that interested in having a layout done professionally or any of these types of things. They just wanted to upload the book and press print, essentially, get the box of books sent to their home. And I told them what I tell anyone who asks me that question, is that if you have the skills and a little bit of patience to noodle around with the self-publishing options, the most straightforward ones, you can self-publish for essentially $0. Okay, now here at Bookends Writing Academy, we've self-published our own books. We've helped other people publish their own books, self-publish their own books. And we are fortunate. We have an editor in-house. We have, people connected with our company who do layout and who do cover design, these kind of things. So we can publish our books for basically nothing. Now, editing does cost money, and it does cost money to get professionals to design a cover for you and to get professionals to do design and these sort of things if you want to make a really beautiful book. But if your goals as someone who wants to self-publish are simply to get a box full of books that you can give to your family and friends, you should be able to do that for basically a couple of $100s. I mean, there's no reason that it should cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Now, again, professionals out working in the field, whether they're editors or whether they're writers or whether they're designers, I mean, these are folks who have serious skills and who you should expect to pay for their services and for those skills. But if you had those skills, or if you have what you feel are enough skills to be able to get your book into the kind of shape that you want it to be in, to publish and print, you should go ahead and do that. And we are able to help people in just that way if it's something that you'd like. If it's just a matter of how do I actually upload my book onto Amazon, KDP Select, or onto whatever platform it is that you want to print your book from. Say you want to get a cover that looks nice. Well, you can get a nice looking cover for a couple of $100 or something like that. Say you want to get a proofread done of your book. Well, there's ways to get that done that are economical and that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. So I think really the point of what I'm saying here today is that you have to look closely at what the offerings are, and you have to look closely at what the particular self-publishing companies are offering you, what it is that's in the fine print. What are you getting? Are you getting a cover? Are you getting copy editing? Are they going to walk you through the whole process? Will you still have rights to your own book afterwards? Okay, there's lots of questions that you need to consider, and you do need to know a little bit about how self-publishing works to make this a successful process for you. And I've got a couple of quick suggestions for things that you can do. Number one is just do a test run. So get a piece of text, whatever text it is, and go ahead and self-publish it. It should basically cost you nothing. Again, if you're not concerned about how it's going to look, I mean, you're not trying to sell this book, you're trying to learn about how this process works. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and give it a try on your own. Note where you may encounter difficulties or where you may hit snags self-publishing your own book, and then go from there. Figure out, what do I need to learn? What are particular areas of self-publishing that I think it would be valuable for me to invest a few dollars? Say I realize, oh, my text isn't that great, there's a bunch of typos, or the whole thing doesn't flow as well as I might like it to. Okay, maybe that's a good time for you to invest in some editing or in some proofreading. Or say you do want a nice cover, and a nice cover is really important in self-publishing if you're doing this, let's say, for your business, or if you want to put out a book that could be commercially successful, a cover is really important. So maybe that's somewhere that you're going to decide that you want to invest some money. But I think if you're going to be looking to invest money in your book, and if you're going to be looking to work with professionals in the field, that you should always know exactly who those people are. Avoid any company that can't tell you who you're going to be working with. So the name of the editor, who they are, real human beings. Try and work with real human beings to publish your book. Another thing that is worth remembering about self-publishing, and one of the nice things about it, is that you're the boss, okay? It's your book, it's your project. You take control of the process. You want to get your book, okay? Not the book that somebody else thinks that you should have. So do remember that, in your dealings with anyone in the self-publishing field, whether it's editors or designers or people who are going to help you get your book up online, that it's all about your goals and what you want to get out of this. That should determine how the process goes, where you maybe spend some money in the process if you decide that that's something that you want to do. So again, this is just sort of a word to the wise, or a word of warning, as it were, about self-publishing.